to welcome all of you, and also to welcome Costa Violin, that is someone who is not a newcomer here. I have been before, back in 2019, and it's the third time in total that visits Greece, thanks to the initiative of Yiannis and I. The first was here in 2019. Then in 2023 I was in Rhodos, and there was an amazing performance in the medieval palace, and in collaboration with the municipality of Rhodos, with the region of South Aegean, with the honorary consul of Austria in Rhodos and Mismos, and of course Mozarteum Hellas. And really we are happy to welcome you here for this exclusive event. You are all very important people. Then we make a small gathering. Sorry if we are a little bit sweet, but you know, you're going to hear a violin that Mozart was performing with in Vienna. And apart of we're thrilled to have the violin of Mozart, we have also with us the director of the research of the Mozarteum Foundation. This is also an important personality in the research, especially regarding Mozart. For those that last year you were part of this amazing event in the Academy of Athens, we presented the Kegel catalog. Then the one behind the updated version of the Kegel catalog is Ulrich Leisinger, and I'm really thrilled to have him here today. Before I give the floor to Ulrich to make the presentation of the Costa violin, I will ask Sonia, who is the consul of Austria here in Athens, to say a few words on behalf of the Austrian embassy. As you know, Mozarteum Hellas have close ties with the Austrian embassy, and all the team participate in all our activities all over these years, and we are really pleased to welcome Sonia. Please.
Thank you. Dear President of Mozarteum Hellas, Evgenia, dear Secretary General, dear Kostas, distinguished guests, also Professor Leisinger, great honor to have you here. I am honored to be here tonight. Thank you so much. The year 2026 is dedicated to Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart on the occasion of his 270th birthday. The Austrian Embassy is truly grateful for the cooperation we have enjoyed with Mozarteum Hellas over the years, with many beautiful events and invitations. In particular, looking back to September 2023, when Mozarteum Hellas managed for the last time to bring Mozart's original Costa violin to the Grand Master Palace of Rhodes, also with the great support of our Austrian honorary consul in Rhodes, Mary Moski, and presented it there in an amazing public open-air concert. Last July, Mozarteum Hellas refreshed our memories by presenting a book on the violin's travel from Salzburg to Rhodes. So tonight, we are delighted to have another opportunity to see Mozart's Costa violin presented and performed again. So special thanks to Mozarteum President Evgenia and Secretary General Costa Iatrou for the wonderful commitment and tireless work, and for today's invitation. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Then, as I said to you earlier, it's my great pleasure to invite Ulrich Leisinger, that lead the research department, that will make a short presentation. But you know, it's really a person of knowledge and you know, and wisdom about Mozart, and not only then.
Thank you very much for the invitation. The Mozarteum Hellas and the International Mozarteum Foundation have a connection. We are a little older than the Mozarteum Hellas. The Internationale Stiftung Mozarteum goes back to an institution that was founded in 1841. Mozart lived in Salzburg until 1780, when he left to produce his opera Idomeneo, the most Greek of his operas, in Munich. And when he left, he went there to conduct from the piano. His his boss, the Archbishop, Prince Archbishop of Salzburg, was on a state visit in Vienna those days, and he called him to Vienna on his shortest way. That meant he did not go back through Salzburg, but north, and did not return to Salzburg for a long time. This is important for the understanding of the instrument which we have here. It's called the Costa violin, and that's not because Costas is the owner, but because it was created by an Italian violin maker called Pietro Antonio della Costa. He lived in Treviso, close to Venice, and he was an important instrument builder those days, who modeled his instrument on Ranieri and Amati. Why did Mozart have an Italian instrument? Nowadays we think Italian instruments are the greatest of all, but when Mozart was young, he actually had an instrument from the Mittenwald area, so the name would be Jacobi Steiner. He did not own an original instrument, but an imitation of that. And we should also not forget that Mozart, whom we know as a composer and pianist, had his first paid position as a violinist at the court of the Prince Archbishop. And in those days, years, he composed, among others, the 5 violin concertos and many sonatas for his instrument. But when Mozart arrived in Vienna, he did not have his violin. He used the opportunity to stay there because Vienna offered much greater opportunities as a composer, as a pianist, and particularly at the opera. But he soon found it necessary to have an instrument. Instead of having his violin sent from Salzburg, he just bought a new one. This instrument remained in the possession of his wife until around 1800, when a young man visited her. His name is Johann Anton André, who was the son of the owner of a music printing company in Offenbach, which is still in existence today. And Johann Anton André was at this point not entirely decided whether he wanted to go on as a publisher or as a violinist. And so he bought from Mozart's widow the Mozart autograph, but also the violin. It stayed for a long time in his possession and of good friends of his. The most famous people until tonight who played on this instrument was Joseph Joachim. And then the instrument was in the collection of an important instrument dealer in London, who finally sold it to an industrial in Germany, who was a dilettante in the best sense of the word, because he was a good violinist, but did not have to live from playing the violin. And from this person it passed on to a member of our advisory board, Nicola Leibinger-Kammüller, and she donated this precious instrument to us in 2013. We regard Mozart's instruments, so to speak, as ambassadors, and it's perhaps not mere coincidence that we have 5 ambassadors among us tonight. We would have 5 Mozart ambassadors as well: his childhood violin, the Salzburg violin, this Vienna violin, his cello, his viola, and also his fortepiano. And so we are close to having an entire ensemble, but only the violins do travel. Yes. So it's my pleasure tonight to introduce not only the instrument talking about it, but we will listen to it. And we will have something like very small Olympic games tonight. It's not who's playing the fastest, the loudest, or the most courageously, but I would say we regard Mozart's violin tonight as the torch that is handed from one hand to the other. And so we will start with the youngest Greek and the first male person who has played on that instrument. That's Yiannis Iatrou, together with his violin teacher, Nina. If we applaud loud enough, then we will.
Just to make a parenthesis, for those that you don't know, Nina became in 2023 the first Greek violinist to perform the Costa violin in Rhodos. And with Anja, they are the only two violinists that perform Costa violin in open air. Then we have some premieres. I would like, on behalf of Mozarteum Hellas, and also together with Yiannis, who is the president, to give Yiannis a plaque for Ulrich and Anja for their valuable contribution. You know, you saw just, let's say, the top of the iceberg, but you know, we work very actively both with Ulrich and Anja. You know, Anja has been here many times, and in the Austrian music summer, plenty of times performing with Yiannis. And on Ulrich, well, it's really worth to go and visit Salzburg and both museums and the research department that Ulrich is leading in Hellas. You know, I don't speak German, then always he's very kind to translate everything to me in English, and I appreciate that a lot. And it's really an honor to have you here, then in physical, finally after 28 years that, you know, he loves Greek, I know, then he speaks a little bit of Greek, to be here with us. And many thanks, Ulrich and Anja. Then, and also, as I said, Anja, that, you know, you saw her performing today, and once again, we met the first time here in exactly same place, performing the Costa violin for the first time in 2019. And we are really pleased to welcome you back. We feel like home really here. Then, please. Then one more picture, Tula, the board of Mozarteum Hellas, because you know, even as the president, even as the vice president, I don't perform, then I'm the secretary general to the paperwork, and Panagiotis Madame is the treasurer. And, you know,